Okie dokie. I think we're live. Fantastic. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, the 26th of January. I'm currently not at home. If you're on TikTok, you can probably see the fire behind me. It is not real. Don't worry. I'm in my holiday home at the moment in the east of England. Today, we are going to be talking about something very specific and very exciting. Now, I'm going to preface this to say that there's a lot of hype in artificial intelligence, a lot of hype and a lot of overhype. And if you go on Twitter right now, if you follow AI accounts, it probably looks like this, with people saying, Claudebot is insane, Claudebot is, make sure you're using it. This is it, the most important video you'll watch all this year. Claudebot has taken X by storm. It's your 24/7 employee. What else have we got? Running Claudebot is pretty simple. Claudebot, 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 Claudebot. If you've gone on any social media to do with AI recently, this is all you're going to hear. And unfortunately, it's all you're going to hear all of this week as well. I am very skeptical of hype. I don't tend to fall for hype. I instead want to try things out, see if they're actually good or not. And yeah, Claudebot's really good, like really, really, really good. There have been a few moments in artificial intelligence that have made me really sit up and be like, oh shit, this is really good. This is something we need to pay attention to. And for me, it was the release of the initial ChatGPT that made me shut down my digital marketing agency and pivot into artificial intelligence, because I realized like, oh wow, this is kind of important. So that's number one. The second was more recent, was Nano Banana, and then Nano Banana Pro in particular, which was not that long ago, which allowed us to generate text inside of images. And that basically became a solved problem. Artificial intelligence had reached something close to human intelligence, roughly. Then we had Claude Code. Claude Code has also been one of those oh shit moments, and I've been using Claude Code religiously for the last 6 months or so. Claudebot might be on the same level. It's still early days and we still need to mess around with it, but it's good. It's really good. It also has the worst name in the world because it sounds like Claude, C-L-A-U-D, but this is Claude, C-L-A-W-D, like a little lobster. So I don't know why that chose that name, maybe to connect it with Claude Code, but you can use it with other AIs, so it's a bit confusing. But Claudebot, good God, I'm gonna get this wrong. I'm gonna call it Claude Code. Claudebot is very good, and I don't want to add to the hype, but it's hard not to after using it for the last couple of days. So I've been a bit behind. Other people have been furiously using this for the last week. I've been on holiday. I'm in my holiday home right now. So it's always happens like this. There's always this timing where there's something very exciting just as I want to go away and relax, but that is fine. So we're going to talk about Claudebot. We are going to show you how to get up and running with it. I'm going to also talk about the risks of using it. I'm going to talk about what you can do with it, why it's exciting, why I'm this excited about it, and then hopefully get it running for you, because it is very, very, very good. You can probably tell I'm a bit excited by it because I'm babbling a little bit. So Claudebot, the tagline for it is the AI that actually does things, and I think that's fair. What you've got with Claudebot is it's an AI that lives persistently on a computer. I'll talk about where it lives in a moment. It learns from all of the tasks that you've given it before. It has a persistent memory. It remembers absolutely everything. It's always online. It's always working for you, which means you can set it up with cron jobs. You can set it up so at certain times it will send you information, or it will do a task for you. That also means it's proactive. So I have it, I'll show it to you. I have it here on WhatsApp. I'm going to cover my number, but I have it on WhatsApp sending me messages when it needs to get stuff from me. Most of the AIs we've been using, all of the AIs we've been using up until now, have not been proactive. They've been reactive and they've waited for our input. So we come along, we type something in, they go off and do the work for us, and then they sit and wait for us. Claudebot doesn't do that. It will reach out and say, hey, it's 9 a.m. I hope you're enjoying your morning coffee. You've said to me that you want to do your daily reflections, so let's do that now. And because of that, you can weave it into your workflows. You can weave it into your daily life in a way that has not really been possible using other AIs before. Obviously, you could have done this yourself. You could have set it up with cron jobs. You could have built these kind of agents. Clawdbot just makes it really, really easy. I had it installed in about 20 minutes or so. You can probably do it faster if you're doing it on a local computer. So Clawdbot is a step change in that it's an assistant that actually works. I know it's their tagline, but it's the promise of Siri. It's the promise of things, AIs like Jarvis in the Iron Man movies. The ability to be able to talk to this AI that constantly knows what's going on, is always there. It can reach out to you automatically. It can check on you. It can be proactive. And it means it can be threaded into our life a lot more coherently than our current chatbots, which require us to go to the AI in order to do stuff. So really, 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 really cool. Extremely cool. Here we go. Is it a good substitute for us? Unfortunate enough to only have Macs with Intel. So I'm going to address this right now because this is important. If you are on Twitter, you will see a lot of people saying, hey, I bought this new Mac Mini. Here we go. I have one. I did not buy this for Clawdbot. I happen to have one right here. I bought this Mac Mini and now it's my 24/7 employee. You don't need to do that. Stop. I don't know why they are telling you to do this. This is insane. You do not need to run out and buy a £1,000 Mac Mini to run Clawdbot. You can run it on an old laptop. If you have an old laptop hanging around, go and dig it out, dust it off and install Clawdbot on it and then leave that on 24/7 and that will be working for you. Or what I've done, which I think is a lot more sensible than buying a computer, is I've just hired a $5 a month server. And I'll show you how you can do that in a moment. This server will be on 24/7. It's not eating up your electricity bill. It is sitting, mine's in Germany, I think, sitting there running my Clawdbot instance for me. It cost me $5 a month. If I wanted more compute, I could upgrade that to $10, $50, whatever it is. But $5 a month for very basic tasks, nice and simple. You do not need to buy one of these, and I'm going to keep saying this. If you see these people, I don't know what's going on. Apple's going to have a great week because of Twitter. There's so many influencers saying you need to go and buy one of these right now. No, you do not. That's a complete lie. So I don't know what's going on there. The only reason why you'd want a powerhouse like this is if you want to run a lot of tasks. If you want to have a fleet of Clawdbots, if you want to have 50 of them running off doing tasks for you, orchestrating them all together, yeah, sure, you might want something a bit more beefy. For most people, absolute overkill. Absolute overkill. You can get it running on, as hell, I've seen someone running on a Raspberry Pi. You do not need to spend $1,000 or £1,000 on one of these to get Clawdbot working. So ignore all of that. I'm going to show you how we get it done in a moment. So let's hop in and have a look at what Clawdbot actually is. As always, I've got a little presentation from NotebookLM because I love to have little presentations from NotebookLM. Oh, I'm talking to the product manager of Nano Banana on Wednesday this week, so I'm going to collect some questions from you guys. So this was generated with Nano Banana, which if you've ever seen my lives before, you'll know that I love Nano Banana, I love NotebookLM, but I'm going to be talking to the product manager who works with the Nano Banana team. So I'll collect questions for that. So Clawdbot. It is an operating system for your life. It's an AI assistant like we have been promised for the last few years, like we have been promised from artificial intelligence. It's finally here, and that is why people are very excited. It is a 24/7 employee, somebody who can learn jobs, who can work on things consistently without you having to keep going back and prompting them. It will do everything automatically for you. So you can train it, you can provide it instructions, and it can become an employee that works for you. It becomes your personal assistant. It becomes whatever you want. And I'm going to talk about some of the things we can do with it because really the limit is your imagination here. So previously, when we used an AI assistant, when we used an AI chatbot, we would have to pick up our telephone, we'd have to pick up our laptop, and we would have to go there and proactively say, hey, this is the task I want you to do, go ahead and do it. Now, there were ways to connect to your telephone, so you could WhatsApp Claude code, for example, you could do it in Slack. That was kind of cool, but it still required the human input. It still required us as a human going to the AI and saying, this is what I want you to work on. Cool. What's happening now with Clawdbot, and we're going to see a lot more, is a proactive assistant. It's an assistant that is on 24/7 and it's sitting there working away for you. That is why lots of people have purchased one of these, so they can run Clawdbot on a Mac Mini and just leave it on 24/7. You don't need to do that. You can just hire a server for $5, $10 a month. So what this means is because it's always on 24/7, it's persistent. It has a persistent context, whereas normally when a chatbot, when you stop using ChatGPT, it kind of dies in between your sessions. It's not persistent. It does not continue. Claudebot will continue. So it's still persistent and it's still there, and it will also proactively reach out to you. So it does not require you talk to it. It will talk to you. Very, very, very cool. So we are getting closer, edging in on AGI. Obviously, there's a lot of different ways to define this, but when you use Claudebot for the first time, it kind of feels like that. It feels like we've taken another step forward. And again, I don't want to overhype it, but it is very cool. So I'm not going to talk about actually, no, let's talk about it a bit, because you might be wondering what the hell actually is Claudebot. So Claudebot it's a gateway that sits between however you want to interface with it. For me, it's WhatsApp. You could also use Telegram, you can use Discord, you can use Slack, you can use whatever you want. You could probably text message it if you really want to. I use WhatsApp, so I talk to my Claudebot through my WhatsApp, which is great because that's how I do all of my business anyway. You could also email it, you could do what you want, you can send it voice notes, you can choose the way that you interface with it using your existing application. So that's pretty cool. Then the actual Claudebot itself is this gateway that is, what would we call it? It's an assistant, an agentic assistant. I'm not sure what term they use exactly. An agentic assistant that is going to receive your requests, it's going to prioritize them, it's going to sort them, it's going to work through those requests using the LLMs. I'll talk about that in a moment. It's also going to retain memories, and it's going to retain context about all the things it's done before. And within this kind of gateway, it has a personality. You can give it a personality. The first thing it asks is, hey, what do you want to call me? And it asks things like, what should I call you, and what time zone are you in, because I don't want to disturb you when you're asleep, etc., etc. It really feels like talking to a new employee and onboarding a new employee, and which is a bizarre, uncanny experience. So that's what the actual Claudebot is in the middle. It's kind of this interface layer between, sorry, not an interface layer, it's a gateway layer between how you interface with it using WhatsApp, using email, using Slack, or whatever you want, and the tools and the LLM providers. So I have personally connected it to Claude Code because that's the tool I use the most. You could also connect it to ChatGPT and connect it to Gemini, to Grok. I mean, anything that you have API access to, you can connect it straight into. I'm personally connected to my Claude Max plan. So I have the $200 a month Claude plan. I've just connected it into that. So I'm not paying any extra. It's just using the same usage. You could also use your own model. You could deploy a model on a device. So if you do go down this route, you could have a local large language model on your Mac Mini or on your computer, and then you could also have Claude Code using that. For me personally, Claudebot using, I'm going to fall over this so much, using that local large language model. If security is really important, if privacy is important, that's where you could go. For me personally, I've connected it to my Claude account. That's fine for me. You could also connect it to a whole bunch of different tools and skills, a huge amount of them, more than I can possibly list out here. You can give it access to your computer, you can give it access to your emails, you can give it access to your Notion docs or your Google Drive, etc., etc. What you give it access to is totally up to you, entirely up to you. And we're going to talk about security in a moment. So the biggest thing, and it's really hard to overemphasize this, is the proactivity of it. The fact that it changes how we interface with artificial intelligence. It's not about us going to the AI will come to us. So if I say to it, look, I've got a task where every single day I need to do 5 videos. I need to shoot 5 videos on various different topics. And I can say to Claudebot, I just want you to keep me on track with that. So check throughout the day, like how many I've done, how many I still need to do, maybe give me some video ideas, go and research some videos that are doing well, and you can ping me with those ideas. I could set up that task once, and then it will do that forevermore. It will continuously forever until I tell it to stop. It will go and find me little video ideas. It will send me little nudges saying, hey, you need to shoot your TikTok video. And you can do this with anything. This is why your imagination comes into play here. If you are dieting, for example, maybe you could set it up as a diet coach where it talks to you and it asks you like how you're feeling, like what you've been eating. You could record your calories directly via WhatsApp into Claudebot, and it would keep memories of that and be able to interface with tools, etc. And it's going to do that proactively. It's going to reach out to you as if it is a staff member, as if it's your executive assistant, as if it's your coach, as if it's your personal trainer, whatever it is. It's going to be able to come to you and say, hey, this is what you should probably be doing right now, or do you need any help with this, or I prepared some stuff for you to help you with this task. Really cool, extremely cool. And it is up to you to work out what to use that for. Now, that's what the internet is currently doing right now, especially on Twitter. Everyone's like, oh, I'm using it for this, I'm using it for this. And there's some really cool use cases. So there is a page, Claude.bot/showcase, where it is literally just people saying, hey, this is what I've done. This is what I'm building. So this guy is using it for his email. This person is using it for personal productivity. So time blocks tasks in my calendar based on importance. Scores tasks importance and urgency based on an algorithm we developed together. So you'll sit down and work out, hey, this is how I want you to prioritize things. Leads me through a weekly review based on meeting transcriptions and notes. Give me a morning daily brief, weather, weekly objective, health stats, meeting agenda, key reminders, trending topics, stuff I should read based on my current objectives. I mean, this is awesome. And this is a cool thing. I could just copy this and then talk to my Claudebot and say, hey, I see this guy, Dan Penguini, is doing these kind of cool things. How do we do this together? And me and Claudebot will then work that out. And it will ask for access to the things that it needs to. We'll work out the security levels, etc., in order to build up these systems for me. Really, really cool. Let's have a look at this. What else have we got? This is someone using it for development. Makes sense. Rebuilt my entire site via Telegram while watching Netflix in bed. Yep. Hey, Claudebot, can you check this voice module that I just found out about? Install it and use it to talk to me. Yes. Okay, I'm going to do that. So I'll be able to talk to my Claudebot. Very, very cool. I've seen lots of people who have been connecting it to their smart home, so to their devices, etc., and using it to optimize their setup there. What else? I had a holy shit, the world is not the same anymore moment last night. This is what I've had too. Put Claudebot on a Hetzner server. That's what I've done, and I'll show you how. We all know AI is transformative, and I don't think you really feel it until you step outside the prompt to response loop and step into the prompt/take real actions on my behalf/response loop. So this, again, the proactive nature of it changes it. It's not us going to the AI comes to us and we work collaboratively to get stuff done. Really cool, really, really cool. And then this person goes through all the things they've been doing. Again, these are mainly developers. There's a good reason for that, and I'll show you why in a moment. It's a little bit technical to set up. I'm going to show you how to do it, and I'm going to publish a guide on my newsletter. If you are not signed up for the newsletter, make sure you are, and tomorrow's newsletter, Tuesday's newsletter, will have the guide in it, walking you step by step how you can do it. What's this? This has got shared memories, so project documents. Each agent has its own context, scheduled daily tasks without me asking, content prompts, Reddit monitoring, reminders, etc., etc. Again, this is a huge list of what people are using it for. So one thing that I've started to use it for is, and I'm still working on this now, we are currently working on this, it's working on it while I'm talking, is for my daily news show. What I want it to put together is a brief. So every morning it will be able to bring me the latest news so that I can talk on my live show and then put together the daily update like this. So what I've actually done is I've given it the last 50 or so issues of my newsletter, and I said these are the kind of topics that I like to talk about. I've also given it the news sources that I use, the Twitter accounts, the subreddits, etc. And I said these are the kind of things I look at every morning over my coffee. Use these and pull down a daily report for me that you deliver to me about 8 a.m. Then I'm going to look at that in the morning, and use that to construct my show. So now every single morning at 8 a.m. I'm going to have this report of all of the AI news delivered into my WhatsApp or into a Notion document, wherever I want. What I'm also setting up though is a system where I will tell it which ones I think are good, which suggestions are good, which ones are bad, so that it can learn better in the future what kind of news to bring me. And again, I'm not doing this with code. I'm literally saying, hey, let's build a system so I can give you feedback and I can tell you which articles are good and which articles are bad. That's all I have to say. And it works out the details for me. So this is not about coding. This is about being able to communicate what you want for your life and your business to an AI assistant. So it's very, 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 very powerful. So that's one thing I'm building. I have a huge list of things I now need to build. And this is possible because it has a persistent memory. So it can remember all of the different tasks it should be doing, all of the different roles it should be taking. If you want, you can also set up multiple instances. So you can have multiple Claude bots doing different things. So I might have one that is set up as my personal coach and talks to me about personal things like health and fitness, for example. And then I might have another one which is set up as a business coach or a business executive assistant, which helps me organize my schedule and my emails, etc. And I would split them out into different Claude bots so that they don't interact with each other. And we have for that a persistent memory. So it will remember the interactions before, all the documents I've given it, and it also has something called soul, a soul.md markdown file where it basically has a personality, and you can tell it what personality you want it to adopt, and it will stick to that. So very, very cool. And then skills and plugins. Let me pull up Claudebot skills. Let's pull up a list because it's probably a massive list. So, for example, just now, for the project of scraping all of the news every morning and then bringing me a personalized report on what I should cover in my live show, I needed to connect it to Brave, the browser. So I had to connect it up so it can access the internet, it can browse the internet. So that is one extra tool that I've given it. You can give it many, many tools using skills and using plugins. There are a bunch in there already, and people are building them. Let's see if we have a list. There must be a list somewhere. ClawdHub. Here we go. ClawdHub.com. They have put together a bunch of skills so we can browse them. So depending on what kind of skill you want to deploy or what kind of task you're trying to do, there will be somebody who's built a skill for it already. You can also ask ClawdBot to find the skills for you because it has access to ClawdHub. So here we go, Ura, Homebridge, Asana, somebody's made one, Polymarket Odds, YouTube Watchers, fetch and read transcripts from YouTube videos, use when you need to summarize a video, answer questions, cool. Search X, Claude Connect, Portable Tools, read GitHub, Sudoku, fetch Sudoku puzzles and store them as a JSON in my workspace, sure. Steam games, browse, filter and discover games in the Steam library. Okay, so there are probably thousands of these, absolutely thousands. You can also make your own using ClawdBot and share them onto the Claude Hub for other people to use as well. So very, very cool. Oh, whilst I was browsing this, somebody published a new one, which is Authentic Agentic Spicy Food Delivery. So access authentic Sichuan spicy snacks. That literally just got published as I was talking. So there's a huge amount of volume here right now. So what this allows you to do is to extend the capabilities of your ClawdBot. When it needs to connect to something, you can connect it up using the skill. So here we've got GitHub, we've got Philips Hue, we've got Spotify, Obsidian. If you want to connect it to your second brain, you can connect it up to Notion, emails, Google Calendar, whatever you need in order for it to be able to do its job. Now, hardware. I saw some people asking early on, somebody's like, but I've got an Intel Mac, or I don't have a powerful computer. A lot of people online right now on Twitter are saying you need to go and buy one of these to be able to use ClawdBot. That is untrue. You do not need to go and drop £1,000. Sorry, Apple. I'm sure you're going to have a really good week with people buying these. These are fantastic. You do not need it though. You can run You can run Claudebot for 99% of cases on a VPS, a virtual private server. Basically, you are renting a computer which is sitting in Germany or sitting in America or wherever it is. You're renting a small part of a computer which is sitting in a data center, and you are going to pay them $5, $10, $20 a month instead of buying a $2,000 Mac Mini or however much it costs, I forget. So you do not need to rush out and buy a Mac Mini. You can just set it up on a VPS. There's also a good reason why you want to do that. A lot of people, this is a security issue, a lot of people are giving Claudebot full access to their computers. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Don't give anything full access to your computer, but especially not an agentic AI which can make changes. Because if something goes wrong, it will wipe your computer. That's why people are buying these, is so that they have like a secondary computer which is running 24/7, which is not their main laptop, not their main computer. So if something did go wrong, at least it is isolated to this device. Do not put it on your primary computer. I know it's tempting because that's probably what you have at hand, but there are risks involved in that. Instead of putting it on your primary, instead of buying a new computer, go and find an old laptop, which you might have. Everyone has one of these, sitting on a bookcase, something that wasn't even worth selling because it's not worth anything and it's a pain to recycle. So everyone has one of these old MacBooks or whatever. Update it, get it all updated as much as you can, and install Claudebot on that and run that as a 24/7 server, or go and rent a VPS. So the one I'm using is Hetzner Cloud VPS. It's about $5 a month. Mine's about $10 a month. You pay for how much power you need. You do not need much. You do not need much power to run Claudebot, at least if you are running one instance. You do not need a lot. If you are running 50 instances of Claudebot and you're orchestrating them and getting them all to work together, sure, you're going to need more power. But even then, you can use a VPS, a private server that you rent, and you can scale it up, and it's still going to be cheaper than going and buying a local computer. The only reason you'd want to do this is if you truly need it local and you truly need it private. Otherwise, it's going to be overkill, honestly. In terms of the actual deployment, what I'm going to do, this guy, Zach.eth, he put together a guide. I'm going to put this in the newsletter tomorrow, so make sure you signed up to the newsletter. I'll also put together a web page on AI with Kyle, which will go through all of this for you. But basically, this is Claudebot plus Hetzner setup guide. It looks fairly technical, so it's like create a Hetzner server, so go to cloud, create a new project, create a server, blah, blah, blah. It tells you which one to choose. It's about €5 a month, fine. Then you have to create an SSH key. Now, if you've never used terminal on your computer, you're like, oh, what the hell is this? But it's fine, it walks you through. Also, if this trips you up, go to ChatGPT, go to Claude, or whatever you're using as your AI, copy this in and say, hey, I need some help here. Tell me how to get this done. I will also, maybe I'll do a tutorial video as well, but you can get it done. This guide looks complex because it's got all of this kind of code. It's not code, it's terminal commands, but what you're basically doing is copy pasting this into your computer. That's it. And you follow that through and it will not take that long. So you're going to create an SSH key. What that allows you to do is to connect your laptop or your computer, whatever computer you're using, to your Hetzner server, which is the server that you've rented, and be able to talk back and forward. That's all it is, but it's allowing you to do that in a secure way. So this looks very complicated, and it is very complicated, but all you're going to be doing is copying this, pasting it somewhere, pressing enter. Copy this, paste it, press enter. So you can work through this 100%. And then connect and install, you're going to, again, copy this, but you're going to replace it with your server IP, which is going to be some numbers. It's going to be like 44.125.332.255, whatever. You're going to put it in there and press enter. Then you're going to copy this, press enter. You're going to copy this, paste, enter, copy this, paste, enter. Like literally, this is just copy paste. It looks extremely complex. It is not. And then you're going to set a Telegram, etc., etc. So you can work through this. Even if you're non-technical, it will take you less than an hour, I would say. Somebody, however, is going to make a huge amount of money by just making this a one-click installation. So good on them. That person's going to become a millionaire this week by building building a way to let anyone do this in one click. They're going to make a huge amount of money. Good job to them. So I will include this installation process in the newsletter tomorrow. So I've got it here, just a bit tidier, and it will walk you through how you can do it. And I highly recommend you play around with it, but do not do it on your local machine. That is the biggie. Do not put Clawdbot on your local machine because it will, or it could potentially smash stuff up. So they're saying right here, what it does, runs on your machine. It's like, well, yeah, it can. I wouldn't. Unless you were buying a new machine just to run it on, or you were finding an old laptop just to run it on, I would not run it on a local computer. I would run it on a server, which you can rent for $5 per month. Do not install it on your main computer. I'm using my laptop right now to do this live. There's no way I'd put Clawdbot on this, because it could explode absolutely everything. It's unlikely, but we're just going to be sensible, because I know we're going to have security issues. We're going to have horror stories of it wiping somebody's whole system by the end of the week, and you don't want to be that person. But it's 100% doable. Just follow the method that I'm going to publish in the newsletter tomorrow. Right, so that's Clawdbot. Really, 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 really cool. Don't want to get overhyped about it too much, but it is the most excited I've been about an AI in the last 6 months or so. So the hype is real for this one. Do go and try it out, but just make sure you do that safely. And don't come back at me and be like, oh, it made problems. I'm telling you how to do it safely, so don't mess it up. Right, I'm going to hop over to questions because I've been chatting about Clawdbot and see what there is. I want to use this for job applications. That's a cool idea. Yeah. So I think it will work initially, at least, because right now, kind of the LinkedIn world and the world outside of the artificial intelligence bubble, us guys talking about this stuff, they don't know about Clawdbot. And so you have a window in which you could absolutely blast and hammer job applications, or indeed any applications using Clawdbot. You would just set it up. Obviously, you're going to give it your CV, you're going to give it best practices, then you're going to give it access to the job portals so that it can go around those job portals for you. It can use the criteria for the jobs that you're looking for, and it can apply for those jobs, and it will be able to go through the processes required to do that automatically, and it will be able to do that 24/7 for you. Same with any kind of process where you need to throw a lot of hours at it. That is no longer the case. So a task that might have taken you, I don't know, 60 hours of continuous work, we can now spend half an hour instructing Clawdbot about how we're going to do it. We have Clawdbot go and do a few test cases. We check the results of that, and if it's good, we're like, okay, cool, off you go. And then you leave it for the next week, just going off and doing that task. Any task that previously required kind of repetitive actions over a long period of time can now be condensed into instructing Clawdbot how to get it done and then letting it go. So there's going to be an increased disparity between those people who are using AI and those people who are not using AI. Up until now, we still had to come to the AI to use the AI, so it still took up our time. That's not really the case anymore. We can just set and forget, and it will proactively come back to us, remind us, keep us on track as we move forward. Very, very cool. Is it just for remote use? No, you can 100% do. You can do it with you can do it on your terminal. You can do it on a local machine. So the great thing about it though is you can use Slack, WhatsApp, Telegram, etc. But I've also got it on my terminal on my computer, so I can type to it directly as well. So you can do it that way. We can do this job bot in ChatGPT. Yeah, in ChatGPT, I doubt it, because we need a tool that can go and access websites, that can go onto LinkedIn, can navigate around our LinkedIn profile, can go to indeed.com, etc. Hell, we could give Clawdbot a new Gmail address, give it its own inbox, and then say, I want you to go and research the job sites. I want you to go and make yourself accounts on those job sites, which you can do because it has a Gmail account. And then I want you to go and apply for all of the jobs that fit these categories. Here's my CV, here's my instructions, etc. When I get an interview request, I want you to filter them by XYZ criteria, then bring them over to me, etc., etc. Like, we can do far more sophisticated things than we've ever been able to do just in ChatGPT. We've been able to do these things using agents, but until now it's been a lot of work to deploy those agents. Now that is decreasing. This is becoming very, very easy. Can one Clawdbot connect to 2 WhatsApp numbers? That's a really good question. I'm going to ask Clawdbot because I don't know the answer to that. Can you connect to more than one WhatsApp number? So I'm literally WhatsApping Clawdbot to ask that question because I don't know the answer to that. Let's see what it says. When I did the setup, it asked for a specific number. So what it's done is created a WhatsApp chatbot. Good question. It doesn't know either, but it's checking for me. Let me check what the config supports. What you can definitely do is have multiple Clawdbots, and you could connect them to different WhatsApp numbers. Okay, yes, Clawdbot supports multiple WhatsApp accounts. The config schema shows blah, blah, blah. Yep, you can have multiple WhatsApp. Each account gets a unique key, and you'll need to link each one with a QR code separately. So you could have, say, your personal number plus a business number, both connected at once. Want me to help set up a second account? So it has literally WhatsApped me the answer to your question. Really good question. I did not know the answer. And funnily enough, Clawdbot didn't know the answer either, but it went off and found the documentation to work it out. Really, really cool. Is this an add-on for Claude Code, or is this standalone? It is entirely standalone, but with an incredibly confusing name. So Clawdbot is spelled C-L-A-W-D, but when you say that out loud, it sounds like Claude, as in Anthropic's Claude, the large language model. It's unrelated. So I wonder if Anthropic, the makers of Claude, the AI large language model, are going to have something to say about this. This is Claude as in lobster, the lobster claws. You can set this up with any large language model. So I personally have mine connected to Claude and Claude Code, but you can connect it to ChatGPT, to Grok, to Llama. You can connect it to a local model, like anything you want. So I'm happening to use it with Claude Code. So I have Clawdbot with Claude Code. It's very confusing, but you do not need to. This is a common confusion, and when I first heard about it as well, I was like, oh, this is something for Claude. It's like, no. This is separate, but with an incredibly confusing name, unfortunately. Where's the newsletter? It's at aiwithkyle.com. Claudebot is crazily overpowered with a Claude Max subscription. Yeah, so that's what I'm using it with. So I'm using the Claude Max 20x subscription, which is not cheap. It's $200 a month. However, I mean, if you can afford it, it's probably one of the best, or if your business can afford it, it's probably one of the best $200 you could ever spend, because of the amount of power it gives you. You can also use this with a lower account, but you are going to run into limitations. Or you can do what a lot of people are doing. You can buy something like this. You can run a local model on it, and you can connect Claudebot to your local model, so you're not paying for your AI costs. Obviously, it's going to be a bit slower than using Claude Code or Claude via the API, but you're not paying $200 a month, so you can really cut down the costs. Svein Bjorn says, I run mine in a folder and I look at what it's doing. Yes. So a lot of people right now are just giving Claudebot access to their whole computer. Don't do that. Don't do that. Especially if you don't know what you're doing or you don't know what you're looking for, because it could, if you give it shell access, it could just wipe your computer. It's unlikely, but with the number of people who are using it, I'm sure we're going to have a horror story within the first week with someone saying, oh my God, Claude Code wiped my computer. And everyone's going to laugh at them and be like, well, did you give it full access to everything? They'll be like, yeah. That's again why you might want to put it on a server. You might want to separate it out from your main work computer, because you are, with that huge power, to quote Spider-Man, not Spider-Man, his uncle, there's a great responsibility. There we go, nailed that quote. Do you think it'd be a tool to help traders trade and what to buy and give insight? Maybe, I don't know enough about that, but probably. Probably, yeah. How many devices can you connect to one Claudebot account? I mean, I think unlimited. It's going to be mainly, actually, no, it's not even going to be limited by your computer power, because it would just talk to each device independently if it has to. I don't know. I'm sure you could probably connect it to thousands of phones if you wanted to. Have you got any meetups in London soon? No, I don't personally, but check out my friend. Here we go, AI for the rest of us, the AI community for everyone. So I talk here every once in a while, and it's my friend Hannah who runs it. Let me see when her next one is. AI for the rest of us. If you go on Meetup, actually, it's going to be the best place to find it. The next one is January the 29th. Oh, this Thursday. So the Octopus Organization, whatever that means. Oh, it's a book. The Octopus Organization, A Guide to Thriving in the World of Continuous Transformation, from the Harvard Business Review. Very, very cool. So that's going to be with the author on next Thursday, and that is Phil LeBrun, author of, he's the author of the Octopus Organization, and he's an AWS executive in resident. Very cool. AWS, Amazon Web Services. And Jana Werner, author. Oh, they're both the author. Sorry, the two authors, who's also an AWS executive in residence. And Masha Gaganova, a transformation consultant, how to make transformation work. So go and check that out. I will not make it to this one because I'm currently at my holiday home. As you can see, I'm not in my normal messy room. Can people run a virtual machine on which they can run Claude? Claude or Claude code. So you can set up a virtual machine, 100%. You can sandbox, you can protect everything. And then, so running, well, you can't run Claude, C-L-A-U-D, on a local machine because it's not open source. You have to connect to the API. You could run Clawdbot, C-L-A-W-D, on a local machine, 100%. So yeah, you could sandbox it, you could put a virtual machine, or you rent a virtual private server. There's lots of different ways to do it to make it secure, but don't just put it on your main, don't give it full access to your computer. But yes, if you know what you're doing, I mean, if you know what a virtual machine is, then you're way ahead of 99% of people. That's my fear, is that a lot of people who don't know anything about setting up virtual machines or sandboxing or virtual private servers, they are going to be rushing into Clawdbot right now because they've seen it on Twitter and it's going to nuke their computer. That's my main concern. But it's not, if you know what a virtual machine is, you're fine. You'll be absolutely fine. Awesome. Right. So I'm going to finish up for the day. I will put this whole guide about Claudebot into tomorrow's newsletter. Make sure you are signed up. It's at aiwithkyle.com. If you join free access, you'll get a bunch of resources, all of this, like a challenge, 100 playbooks, etc., and a subscription to the newsletter. And tomorrow's newsletter, Tuesday's newsletter, will be about Claudebot, and I'll run you through how you can get it set up, what you should use it for, how to use it safely, etc., because I want to make sure everybody has access to this, but at the same time, safe access. I know it's boring, but it's kind of important. So make sure you're signed up. That's aiwithkyle.com/join, or just aiwithkyle.com. There's also a whole bunch of free courses on there, like a lot of free courses, over 100 playbooks, etc., a huge amount of content for you to check out. So do that as well. I will probably be talking more about Claudebot this week because it's the new hotness, but also I'm kind of excited about it myself. So expect more on that. I also want to talk about Remotion, which is using Claude code to make product videos, like using Claude code for video. Really, really cool. So maybe I'll talk about that as well. But I think this is going to be a very heavy Claudebot week. So apologize if you're bored of it already. But it is very, very cool. Also on Wednesday, I'm talking to the product manager of Nano Banana. So he's in America. We're going to be hopping on a call. I'm not sure if I'm doing it live yet, but what I will be doing is collecting questions for that. So I'm going to put out a post on YouTube, TikTok and Instagram later today, basically asking for questions. What do you want to ask the Google team? What do you want to ask the guy behind Nano Banana and Nano Banana Pro? Because personally, I think it's a really cool technology, and it's a great opportunity to be able to chat to them about the future of AI imagery, what kind of surprised them about the success of Nano Banana Pro, etc., etc. And I'd love to get your questions as well. So there will be I'll tell you what, in the newsletter tomorrow, I'll put a form and you can submit questions, a nice easy form. You don't just add in your question basically. And I'll also do some social media videos today where you can comment with your question below, because I want to make sure that we all get to ask our burning questions for them. So make sure you're signed up at aiwithkyle.com for the newsletter, and on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, etc., etc. Just look for I am Kyle Balmer. That's my full name, and you'll be able to find me. Awesome. Thank you, guys. I am going to hop off, and I will see you tomorrow. Cheers, guys.